Hello, everyone. Hope you're all safe and everyone's doing well. With the corona pandemic everywhere, it's all over the world, and everyone's, let's say, getting scared and worried and fearful. We have Miret with us today, who is an EFT expert who will help us and give us some guidelines on what we should be doing. Hi, Miret.
Hello, Jomana. How are you?
So, Miret, tell us a bit, with all the precautions the government precautions and people being scared and worried and fearful, what can people do to get rid of that fear or to overcome the situation, let's say?
Well, the number one step, of course, is to release all that fear or anxiety or stress because as they heighten the precautions and as the governments or announce even more precautions, let's say they close down or lock down, whatever they're saying about schools, people become more and more fearful. So the number one thing and the most important thing really is to release or decrease that anxiety, fear, and stress.
Okay, so how can you, given that you're an EFT expert, emotional freedom technique, what can people do to protect their bodies and to feel more calm in this period?
Well, there's many things. First of all, of course, they're gonna follow the precautions, the regular precautions that we all know about. Number two, we're gonna tap a lot. We need to start tapping on ourselves a lot so that to release all this negative energy going through us or this nervous system havoc, what we call havoc. Because when you go into stress, Jomana, what really happens is your system is in havoc. You're not okay. It's like you've been hijacked. So we need to release that or calm the system down. And let me tell you why that's so important. It's so important because when your body is in this havoc or this stress, it can't protect itself. It can't take care of itself. It can't, the immunity gets also affected. So the number one thing right now in this situation is to make sure we are calm and collected.
Okay, so how do you advise we do that? How can we, are there any techniques? Is there anything that we can, any steps we can follow so that we can release this fear and, let's say, have a more rational approach to the situation instead of being in this fight or flight mode constantly?
Yeah, of course. Good that you said fight or flight because actually you do go into fight or flight in that situation. Well, one of the things is just breathe, breathe. Just take deep breath when you're scared. If you hear something or people are telling you something, the news, the media, social media especially, breathe. Just take a lot of deep breath because that also rebalances the body. But also there's a very, very effective tool, which is emotional freedom techniques, which is actually working inside the body to calm the system back and bring it to balance. So this is what I do best, which is emotional freedom techniques. People do this for a few minutes whenever something goes on, whenever you're fearful, to bring yourself back to balance and bring yourself back to calm. This is what I believe we should do.
And okay, we're gonna move on, and you're gonna share with us a small video on how to use emotional freedom technique to release the fear and anxiety. But first, let me just ask you, or just point out that I think we should also limit how much time we watch TV or give or listen to the news to avoid having like increase in the fear level or anxiety.
For sure, that's a really good point. Because especially if I am a person that gets really triggered and fearful, and you can feel it in your heart, you can feel it in your breathing, you can feel something's going on with your body and you're anxious, you can't sleep, you're thinking all the time. Then you take your own measures, as you just said. Learn to breathe, learn to step away from that. And maybe keep a gratitude list too. That would be good. What is good about this? What's good about your life? You're safe, you're okay, you have enough food, you're warm, you have a roof over your head, whatever. Think of what is positive. That will keep you in a calmer state. And of course, we're going to tap.
Okay, so Miret, you've already told us a few steps to follow to decrease our anxiety level. You've told us to avoid social media as much as we can. You've told us to follow precautions. Is there anything else to breathe as well while we get some of the negative news we receive? Um, what else do you recommend, or is there anything else that you recommend we do?
Of course, EFT, we just said that, and we're going to do it in a few minutes, and protect yourself. And I'm going to be sharing a really simple way to protect your body and your emotional body also at the end of this interview. Because Jumana, I just want to add, we're a mind, body, and soul. So you've got to address all those three in order to calm down. You can't address only one. And that's why I've added in the protection towards the end.
Okay. I'm really excited to see or to share. I already know EFT and I'm a practitioner as well, but I am very excited to share this with our viewers. You will walk us through the steps of how to use EFT to release fear and anxiety. Am I right?
Yes, let me do that with you. So everybody, first of all, people could be fearful for themselves, for their health, for the health of loved ones. They could be fearful as far as they're worried about death of themselves or loved ones. They could be fearful about their income, their work, what's going to go on with the economy. So whatever they're fearful about, fill in the blank. Whatever it is, just rate it. So we rate from 0 to 10. And if you need more information about this, after this interview, just go into EFTI, EFT International. You take a look at how EFT works. There's lots of research. It's already proven how it works. Today, we're just going to do this. So, Jumana, I want everybody to just think about whatever they're fearful about from this situation. Maybe close their eyes, take a deep breath, and rate it from 0 to 10. 10 being it's quite intense, 0, I don't have any problem with that. And just remember that number for now, okay? And I'm just going to tap general for the fear. Will you echo me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just, what we're going to do, by the way, since we're all told to not get our hands on our face, and EFT is mainly on the face, I'm going to be tapping on the face. So make sure your hands are clean. And in the end, I will also help you and share how we can tap if we don't have our hands clean, because we still have the help. So the regular tapping would be our hands are clean, and let's do this. And this is what we call side of the hand. And we're going to just say, even though I have all this fear running up and down my body, I choose to feel calm now. Even though there's so much fear filling my body, I choose to feel calm now. Even though I'm stressed, I'm anxious, and I'm fearful. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared. I choose to feel calm now. I choose to be in the moment. Okay, and that's enough. 3 times is enough. And then we're going to take 2 fingers and we're just going to tap on whatever side. It doesn't matter. You can even tap on both. And you can just start saying, all this fear in my body. All this fear in my body. Side of the eye, under the eye, all this fear in my body. Under the nose, all this fear in my body. Under the lips, all this fear in my body. What we call the, right here, somewhere here. I don't want, you can do this too. All this fear in my body. And under the arm, about 4 inches under the arm, all this fear in my body. And above the head, this area, towards the front, all this fear in my body. And let's just do a couple more and see what happens with our rating. This fear running up and down my system. This fear. This anxiety. This fear. This fear running up and down my system. This fear running havoc in my system. All this fear in my body. All this fear in my body. That's 2 rounds. That's good enough. You can take a deep breath now. A couple of deep breaths we're going to take and check in. And the deep breath will help rebalance you. And now I'm just going to do a couple more to shift this a little bit. And then we'll see what happens. So let's do this. I wonder if it's possible for me to calm down. I wonder if it's possible for me to release this fear. I wonder if it's okay for me to release this fear. I wonder if it's possible for me to release this fear. I wonder if it's okay if I release this fear. I wonder if it's okay for me to release this fear. I wonder if it's okay and it's safe for me to release this fear. And I'm going to take another deep breath. Maybe another one, Jumana. And the reason I said that and it's safe because sometimes our mind thinks that if it doesn't stay in the fear, it won't take the precautions, it won't do what it's supposed to do. So it keeps the fear in it. That's the way it thinks. And I'm just telling the mind, no, it's okay. It's okay. You can release the fear. You've already gotten the information you need to know. You need to have some precautions. You need to do 1, 2, 3, which is fine. You already got the information. You just need to now release the fear so you can be more rational. And I want to make it easier for people to understand. This is like the red light. So the red light is just there to tell you, stop. Don't step in the street. You need to stop right now and then do whatever you need to do. Same thing with fear in the body. It's there in the body because it's a message. But don't take it further than that. So we've gotten the message. We know that we're supposed to do certain steps, which is take the precaution. And that's why I added, let's release that. Now, let me ask you, the viewers, like, check in now. And Jumana, you check in now. How is it? How do you feel?
I feel better. I feel more relaxed, and the rating has gone down.
Yeah, tapping will always do this. It will relax you. It will calm you down. Sometimes, just for knowledge, sometimes you might be more triggered. All you need to do is just continue. All you need to do is just continue. Do a 4 or 5 more rounds. There's fear, there's fear, there's fear. You don't need to ask more than that, and you will start calming down. Back up this video and redo the tapping. You will calm down. So, but generally tapping, because the way it works on the body and the nervous system, will calm you down. So you can think better. You get out of that fight and flight.
Okay, so can you explain to us how does EFT, what happens when we tap? So like, how does EFT work? And like, do you have to believe in it for it to work?
First of all, you don't have to believe in it to work at all because it works physically on the body. So that's number one. So people just do it. Just follow the path, what I do on this video. Don't worry about figuring out the science behind it. You don't have to even understand it. But for people to know, it actually works on the nervous system. It calms down the stress response. That's basically what EFT does. It does what we call scientifically pattern interrupt. So you have a thought pattern that's scaring you, and this EFT comes into pattern interrupt. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of explanation. If you go to EFTI, you go to other people's websites, you go to my website, you will find information. You go on my page, there's a lot of data on how EFT works for people who want the science. I'm not sure if people will have the time for the science right now, they just want it to work. So let's just use it.
Okay, you were gonna show us how to use EFT if we're in a situation where our hands aren't clean and we don't really want to be touching our face. So what would we do in that situation?
And it's also for situations when you want to be discreet. You're on a bus, you're in a meeting, you're talking to someone and they're really triggering you with what they're saying, they're super freaked out. What you can do is do the finger points. You can do this if you want, or you can skip it. You can do this, or you can just touch it and say it in your mind even, and then you just need to do the finger points. Just press them and say this fear, 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 or just touch it. By touching, you activate. And this is so discreet. You can do this in your lap. You can do this in a very discreet way, and it won't show. And of course, you're not using your face, so that can help you anywhere.
Can we use it while we have gloves on? And doesn't matter which hand we use?
What was the first question?
With gloves, with Corona, everyone is wearing gloves these days. So if I'm wearing gloves, would it matter?
Yes, just press a little harder, maybe. Okay, and it'll work because EFT works no matter what. And of course, did you say with kids? Is that what you asked?
No, I would say no. That was just it.
Okay, yeah, you can use it with the gloves, and also, of course, since I thought you asked about kids, of course you can use it with kids, and I really want everybody to teach their kids because the kids are also hearing the media. They're maybe seeing their parents or friends of parents or people in the supermarket, wherever, freaking out. They're watching TV with the parents. They need to also tap. So simply tap with the kids and maybe use the words, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, or I'm worried, whatever they're using, use it with them. Make it a family thing.
Okay, so how often do you recommend that we tap?
Well, you know what? With this time, maybe once or twice a day. If you need more, you need more. Like it's like washing your hands. We call EFT. It's an emotional washing for the emotions. So if you get triggered 4 or 5 times a day, this took only like a minute or 2 or 3 minutes max. Stop and tap. Don't let it escalate in your body. Don't let your body go into havoc. Again, the reason I'm saying this is because when you're in havoc, your immunity is hit. Your body is not in good state. And this is not the time to decrease our immunity or play around with our immunity. We want to make sure our immunity is healthy. So that's why I want you to tap as much as you need to keep your body functioning the way God made it to function.
Okay, sorry. Going back to the part about using it with kids, do they need to say the words, or can we just can we just tap for them on the points without them having to talk about it?
They don't have to talk about it. So let's say you have a 5-year-old, you're sitting on bed and they're saying, Mom, I'm scared, or you feel they're anxious, Mom, I can't sleep. Just let them play with it. Just say, I'm scared, I'm scared. You can tap on yourself and just say the words for them, or they can play around with it too. You can simplify some of it, you can skip some of the points. It is a really, really, really forgiving tool. It's okay if you don't get all the points. It's okay if you don't say the words. It's the intention. Work with them. And as young as 3 and 5, 3-year-olds can use EFT. Let the mother sit by them and just put them on their lap and play with them and tap. They can tap on the person or tap on themselves, and the child is watching. And there's something called mirroring. They will be also affected.
Okay, thank you so much, Mirat. This was very informative. Before we finish our interview, is there anything else that you would like to add that might be helpful or useful to our viewers today?
Yeah, I like to add the protection, feeling protected by a higher power, whether it's God, it's Jesus, it's the universe, whatever you call it, angels. And that also helps you. It helps your immunity. For by the way, it helps your body. There's a lot of stuff about what you believe, the biology of belief. But anyway, so what you do is like you close your eyes, you quiet down, and you imagine that way up in the sky, way up in the universe, there's a shooting light, and it's like white light, and it's coming through your head, and it's going in every single cell, it's going in every single organ, it's calming your system, it's protecting you from the virus, it's clearing anything you don't need. It's just a beautiful, beautiful light with all the cleansing and protection. You can even boost your immunity, and you can imagine that. You can do that by imagining that. And it takes like a minute or two, and just imagine that. And I like in the end of doing that, I like to even put myself in a ball of light. And that brings in a lot of calmness, first of all. Number two, it does work. There's research that says some of that. You, by connecting and believing you are protected, by believing your body is able to fight the virus, you actually activate your body to do that. So that's the third part. And that's the part that I say mind, body, soul. You've connected with your soul, with the higher self. You know you're protected from a higher superpower, and that brings rest to a lot of people's hearts.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Mirat, for today, and thanks for your time and all your amazing tips. And I really hope that people actually follow them, and it will really help a lot in decreasing your fear and anxiety level. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact Mirat on her page, and make sure you follow her so that you can get all the updates on the new videos she will be posting.
Thank you, Jemana, for this interview. I hope it helps a lot of people, millions and millions of people, release the stress in this really, really tough, difficult period we're going through as a whole of humanity, everybody on earth. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone, and see you soon.